Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with a pretty cool brew. This is time to test around a little bit with a card called Fiend Artisan, popularized recently by Hello Newton playing Elves, and I think this card is really good in Maverick. I've been testing this out in this build with some pretty cool results, and I think it's pretty powerful. I've also been wanting a 2-drop for a long time that is a beater like Tarmogoyf, but has a little bit more to it than just being a beater. I think that's kind of why Tarmogoyf has dropped off the radar from early iterations of Maverick, where you really just wanted it as a hammer. But these days, you really need your creatures to do more than just pressure. You also need disruption. And Fiend is pretty cool with applying that. I actually didn't realize that it's not Birthing Pod for a long time. When it first came out, I tested it a little bit, but I always thought that it was you could only get a creature with CMC equal or 1+ the creature sacrificed, not that the creature you could grab scales with how much mana you pump into it. So for example, I thought the Dried Arbor could only be turned into, say, a Noble or Birds or Mum, and one of those could only be turned into a 2-drop, but it's actually really nice. It allows you to turn creatures that don't have a role in a matchup into a creature that does, and a great example of that is if we have a hand with Collector Oof and our opponent goes turn 1 Elvish Reclaimer, and they're on Elves. This means we can now use Fiend, a little bit like what Grist has done to the deck, in allowing us to now give this Collector Oof a role. And instead of just being a 2/2 vanilla creature, we can now turn that into something like a Plague Engineer, or maybe a Gaddock Teeg if you play that. So Fiend, I think, is really nice because it also allows you to make use of your early mana dorks for mana, and then in the late game, trade them away for other things. You don't always have to trade away an actual creature as well. You can trade away Grist tokens, which is pretty awesome. And also Dried Arbor coming back in each turn with Ramanap is just another sort of free way to keep the chain rolling and going there. So the creatures that I've been trying out with Fiend that you typically don't see in Maverick is a Skyclave Apparition as just a nice kind of catch-all for a lot of decks, and Solitude, which I've been playing in green-white, but I think it's pretty nice here as well as kind of an endgame threat. And typically a card we can also just cast fairly often thanks to mana acceleration. I was playing Flicker Wisp, I was playing Burden Forge Tender as just different threats that I wanted. Things like flickering Solitude or Skyclave, or flickering a Construct token was pretty cool. But for now, this is kind of the 75 that I'm happy-ish with. You can see from the sideboard there's a lot of combo hate, and that's just I think the deck grinds really well and has quite a good matchup against the FedEx. I just want to make sure that for the combo and control matches where things like Spirited Labyrinth and Thalia can be pretty strong, I want to buy time to actually get to turn 2 to play them. So Deafening Silence, Mindbreak Trap, Surgical are all sort of turn 0, turn 1 interactive spells, which I think is what we need because that's where, yeah, this deck doesn't have much game. On the draw against Reanimator, on the draw against an Oops All Spells or Doomsday deck, even against Ant or Test if you run into it, my kind of sideboard plan for those sort of matchups is just buying time to actually land a threat that both disrupts and pressures. The other card is Opposition Agent, which I think is pretty sweet. It was between this and Aven Mind Sensor, but I kind of like that Agent allows us to search for things which is pretty sweet. So obviously in response to a Knight or a Reclaimer or a Stoneforge Mystic, being able to grab an equipment is pretty awesome. The only other card that I have in here is Tower of the Magistrate, which I've kind of ported over from Naya Depths. Just really strong at dealing with Kaldra, which can be a bit of an issue for this deck, and also getting through tokens, or even just buying time against tokens. So pretty keen to see how this runs. I'm going with the full 4 list of Artisan, which means I've kind of cut down some of my hate bears and mums to just 2 ofs, which I think is fine. I still think 2 Knight is really good as well. Against decks like lands, I'm pretty happy just to see the 1 or 2. And in some instances, Endurance is a little bit better than Knight, being able to actually interact with their engine plan of Loam. But yeah, I think the kind of fun-off card here is also Renegade Rallier, which allows us to get there. We do have Knight of the Relic Redefined Tower, but we don't have anything like Crop Rotation or Crop Rotation, or I guess we kind of have 10 ways to find it, because we have 4 Green Suns, 4 Fiend, 2 Knight. But yeah, definitely not going to be able to find it as quickly as something like Naya Depths with the 4/4/4 of Crop, Reclaimer, and Knight, but pretty cool. I will update the title as well. Big thank you. Legacy Fiend Maverick. Nice. Yeah, Renegade Rally just really nice with Fiend Artisan, getting back a creature you just sacked. I was playing Voice Resurgence, but I think with all the exile in Legacy, it just didn't really stack up how I wanted it. And I actually think the Delver matchup isn't too bad, especially with our removal package. Endurances and Knights are really nice as well. Yeah, pretty keen to see how it goes and how the deck can fare. We were playing a Legacy League with Fiend Mav. Nice. Gameplay. Very cool. And yeah, hopefully my mic sounds alright. I've been finding recently it's been picking up a lot of like clicking or dishwasher or birds or dogs, so hopefully it's all good. Alright, let's move this back. We are up against Urza Insane. Looking for the same sort of hand, like with any Maverick deck. So like, you know, 2 lands, Mana Dork, threat removal, maybe even 3 lands, Mana Dork, threat removal, and then anything on top of that is pretty gas. Yeah, no Minsc and Boo, sadly. I do have one, and thankfully Rancor has allowed me to borrow another, which we're able to play in Naya Depths, and actually Trophy, which is pretty nice. And this is a pretty fine hand. The Noble Hierarch currently is our only white mana, but we do have a pretty nice hand otherwise. Obviously quite good against a creature-based deck, but Fiend here can turn this Plague Engineer potentially into something like a Thalia or Spirit if needed. Hey Arnie, welcome. Yeah, me too. I think it's always cool to try out new things, and I think Maverick's in kind of a position where it's probably good to see what can happen with a little bit of change. Okay. Karakas Pass makes me think this is going to be D&T, but at the same time, most D&T builds are going to be Yorion these days, so not too sure what to make of that. A white source is really nice. I'm pretty happy just to lead on the forest here and play the noble. But it does mean a fair deck, which is quite nice for us. Seat. Okay. Well, that's pretty nice, because now we can potentially Fiend Artisan for Collector Oof. Charleston 1 is going to be fine. I wonder if they also have Emery. No Emery. Alright. So I think here the main thing we want to do is Fiend Artisan. We can also Scrib Ranger and then Fiend. 1-2, play Ranger, return, untap, play this. So pretty happy to try that. Untap this, return this. Play the forest, play the Fiend. We also have the Verdant here, which is pretty nice because that allows us to go and get Dried Arbor if we want to turn that potentially into Collector Oof. I kind of feel a Kappa Cannoneer coming with this sort of start. It could also be Urza. To be fair, their name is Urza Insane, so... Hey, Mapson, too kind. Too kind. Very much looking forward to finding a time that suits you to stream some more Naiad Depths. Echo. That's gonna be fine. That is both players, correct? It doesn't end the turn though. For a second I thought it ended the turn, but that's Days Undoing. This is gonna be fine. Okay. This is pretty nice. We have Endurance and Solitude at instant speed, if needed. Wow, that is gonna pass. Do we want to do anything? No. Cradle would be an insane draw. Birds. I think it's still just gonna be Artisan into Collector Oof, and then Wasteland. So Artisan would be 1, 2, untap this, return this. I think I'm going to get rid of the Scrib Ranger. I kind of like having the Hierarch out as well. Collect Oof. And then pretty happy to Wasteland here. I think I'm going to go after the Tundra just to take them off blue for now. Two, 4, 6, 8. I think it's just going to be the other Fiend Artisan here. Yeah, because then we have Bird for Endurance if needed. We have white cards for Solitude. Scrib is pretty sweet when you have something like Cradle and you can untap the Fiend multiple times in a turn. I also just need to make sure that I don't play the bird. Another Chalice. Okay. Oh, what's this? Not stacking abilities automatically. Alright, how's our turn look? I think we're just going to play the Forest because they know about it, and then take care of one Chalice, potentially. I could have also attacked with both there just to get the extra point of damage in. That was wrong. Hey, welcome, Wilford. What are you currently speedrunning? LED is fine. We have the Oof in play. Tomb Raider. Nice. Very cool. Oof doing a ton of work here. Like what, 2 turns ago? Maybe even 3, Echo of Eons was cast. And they've really only cast 2 things. Second Chalice and LED. Oh, they play the Ottawara. That makes me think they have another one potentially for the Oof. Because I think bouncing the Oof is pretty awesome. Another land isn't great. Hey, Star Fox. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. So if they make a construct here, it'll be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So no great attacks here. I think we'll just pass with the Endurance open. We do have the Solitude for the construct, which is nice. Oh, I could have also gone... Oh, Hull Breacher. That is going to be okay. I think I let them untap. And then Solitude. A little bit scary, though. I can't Prismatic Ending the Saga. I could go after the tokens if I really wanted to. I should have fetched there as well, just in case they get Needle here. You might be thinking of March of the Unholy Light. Oh, they get Spellbomb. Interesting, because Spellbomb can't do anything with Collector Oof in play. Urza. They're down to 3 cards. Urza's going to be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think here I'm just going to Solitude the... This is actually pretty tough. I think I Endurance first, get rid of the Echo, because they can flash that back at some point with a Hull Breacher. We'll just get a... Bayou. That's the Endurance. Endurance them. And I think we just take out the Urza here. With the Solitude pitching the sword. And then if we want, we can even go get Skyclave for the Hull Breacher if needed. They tap the Caracas, which is nice, which means I can't actually return it here. But I believe they can activate the Urza here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but they choose not to. I guess they still can. Yeah. Alright. What's it gonna be? Ah, they didn't use the ability? Unless they have a Days Undoing in hand? Which isn't the worst, like we don't really care about our hand right now, it's just mana. I think they played the Tundra. Maybe not. Oh, another Urza. Okay. And an Emery, wow. So they hit Hull Breacher, Pedal to Fairy. Ooh. Okay. Okay. They can get back Scrib Ranger. That's very true. The issue is them getting a new hand. So they have one card in hand. They have the Urza. We can get back Wasteland. What do we want to do here? Quick look at the deck. Could just be for Skyclave. Just trying to think if we can play Heath, fetch Renegade Rallia for 3, get back Scrib Ranger, 1 mana, 2 mana, tap. No, that's not enough. It might be a case of holding the Windswept here and just trading in the Endurance. Or a Skyclave. Probably on the Urza. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think it is just Skyclave here. But our life total's also pretty... Like, we're going to be taking 17 next turn, most likely. Potentially might even have to chump block if they have 2 artifacts. Oh, they can float blue from this. Okay. They have 1 card left. What is it? Nothing. Land. Not being an artifact is huge, because it means that we don't have to chump block this turn. But I think next turn there's a world where we can Renegade Rallia and Scrib to make this Artisan quite large. But a lot to think about. Like, we've been definitely taking our time, but our opponent is down on more time than us, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so they're gonna get back the Pedal, that's fine. That does grow the constructs. Now we do have to chump. Huh. That's if they attack with the Hull Breacher, though. Because I actually wouldn't mind trading the Apparition for the Hull Breacher. Would then take 16, go down to 3. But then we have, like, Dried Arbor, we have Renegade Rallia, 1, 2, 3, 4. For 3, yeah. Would be very cool if we could Maybe even Endurance ourselves after... No, I think the Artisan being a 5/5 and just getting larger is probably better than getting some of those creatures back into the deck like Endurance. But it's pretty awesome that Fiend just allows us to play around any sort of counter magic once it's down. Like an uncounterable Green Sun Zenith is pretty nice. But we have a pretty sweet line next turn of Windswept. Okay. But we have to block here. Take 16. White, white, blue. Khan, jeez. Khan might just be too good. But we can definitely try. So we get back... Land for turn. Rallier. Get back Scrib Ranger, and then we have access to 4 mana. Which could be Scrib. One, two, untap this, return this. I actually don't think we have a great way out, unfortunately. Because we can't kill the Khan this turn, and just having the constructs is so good for them. Alright. We like the forces, and on the play I like the deafening silences. I'm not a big fan of the play. Endurance, Raminator, Skyclave. Beast can most likely come out here as well. Mum probably not needed. I think Mum can come out here. Scrib pretty cool. Outland Liberator, Thalia Spirit. I don't mind the tower here either. I kind of like the tower. Maybe just overlook a bayou. It could just be a forest, actually. We don't really care about our mana base in this matchup. Definitely like Spirit. I still like Thalia, especially on the play. Yes, yes. Could potentially be Scrib. Scrib's just nice with mana, especially for the Fiend Artisan, so even though we're taking out the Mother of Runes, I could still see a reason to keep it. Also as a flyer, like against a Khan, it's pretty sweet. The only reason that I like all three on the play is that I most likely am going to see it in my opening hand. And this is probably the matchup where I really want it. The thing about dropping them down to like 2 or 1 is that then I'm less likely to see them in my opening hand, so more likely they get turned off by a chalice. It could just be a bird, to be fair. Still think our mana's pretty good. I don't think Agent is relevant. I guess other than Saga, but hopefully with Force of Vigors and Wastelands, of course, we're dealing with Saga before it triggers to the 3rd chapter. Right. No land, unfortunately. Pretty good hand. I'll keep this. What do I want to drop? We're definitely keeping 2 lands. I kind of like potentially... I like turn 1 Deafening Silence into turn 2 Noble. I guess with the Deafening Silence, we don't really care about their graveyard, so I could see Endurance going here. Because Deafening Silence somewhat turns off Emery and somewhat turns off... Hullbreacher into Echo. It is... yeah, I think that's fine. Even though it's 1 non-creature spell, we also have Skyclave to remove both those threats. Only kept 7. It's a small win. Okay. Third land is pretty sweet. Okay. The Saga there most likely makes me want to prioritize this Knight. Also pretty happy just to fetch out my colors here. It's tough because if we play the Knight, they can then just Pithing Needle with Emery, so I think we are just going to Skyclave here. Okay, it's your spell for turn. It's very true. We could also Skyclave Needle. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. And then we could have Knight online this turn for the Saga. They played the Otawara as well. Fiend is kind of cool. We can't attack here, so we might as well play Knight. And fetch out. Is Fiend to sacrifice another? Yeah, okay. Kataki would be pretty cool as a sideboard card, especially for this sort of matchup. Oof is nice, but in this sort of spot, Oof's kind of irrelevant once they have the constructs. And obviously Kataki with Oof is also nice, like board wipe. A 1-2 punch. Even though both punches are kind of knockouts. Now, what do they get? Probably either Shadow Spear or the Bounce, or they get Echo. Yikes. Or they get LED, sorry. So they could, if they have it, if they have Hull Breacher and Echo, they could do it all here. Oh, we also have access to Cradle next turn. Pretty sweet. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Wonder why they played that second mate. I guess maybe Choke is actually pretty good here in this sort of matchup. Wasteland's pretty nice. Okay, what if we start off with... Scrib Ranger? Hey Adams, welcome. I don't mind just getting a second knight here either. Yeah, Oof is actually pretty good. Script range is free. Let me quickly see how we can do this. I kind of want to keep the noble, so maybe we go sack this for Dryad Arbor. 1 floating. Use 3. Sack Dryad Arbor. Go and get Scrib Ranger. Untap this. Return this. 1, 2, 3. I've already. Did I just? I've already used this? Did I? I think I did, didn't I? Did I? Yeah, I meant to untap the Fiend Artisan. Tough. Okay. That is fine. But pretty rough. Yeah, I meant to untap the Fiend Artisan, get Collect Oof, and then in their turn we can untap the Knight as a blocker. But we'll see how this plays out. Unfortunate. Tough, that would have been a sweet turn. Look here. There's one card I don't want to see, and I think they might have it somewhere. Oh, they have an Echo. We both get to fill up, and that's their card for turn. That is fine. Wow. Okay. Of course we lose the knight in that instance. That's pretty cool. Force of Vigor is pretty insane there. We're at 5. I think we just rally a get back a land. I could all see Oof. I think Oof is actually just a play here. Because we have access to Force of Vigor. And we can also get that noble back with Thalia, which is nice. We do want to hit something here. It's most likely just Shadow Spear and Construct, but it can just replay with Emery, but I think that's correct. They obviously can't counter it here either because they've already cast Teferi and Deafening Silences on the stack. It's most likely just bounce Oof. Draw a card, see if they can do anything else. Oh, maybe bounce Deafening Silence. I guess Oof and Deafening Silence are doing similar types of things. I mean, if they bounce the Oof, they can only really cast a creature. If they bounce the Deafening Silence, they might be able to cast some other stuff, but most of it will be artifacts, other than another Planeswalker potentially. You're gonna bounce the Oof. That is fine. Well, that's it. Alright. Attack Teferi first, in the air. Hey, Mangu, a huge thank you for the raid. Too kind. Hope you had a great stream. For those coming in from Mangu's stream, welcome. I'm Dukes on Twitch. I usually stream Legacy Maverick or other FedEx, such as Naya Depths, which typically does have a combo in it. I think we're just jamming with Oof here. They could have bounced it to try to counter it on the way down, but we didn't see that, so pretty happy to just pass here. Mingu, I believe you're playing 4-color Rhinos in Modern, and if so, how'd you go? Urza. Right. Urza is pretty sweet. Hey DJ, thanks for the follow. Oh, I also have a giveaway. Speaking of Fiend Artisan, I'm giving away a set foil one. If you're on Twitter, you can join the giveaway, which I will quickly find. Here. Hey Nabo. And I will do that after this match. Alright, so we need to find a way to deal with this as how do we want to start? I think it's just going to be Grist tick down on Urza. I've also floated the wrong mana, but that's fine. Thankfully. Yeah, I should have floated the mana correctly there because I wanted to fetch for Dryad Arbor and then trade that with the Urza, but here we'll just get rid of the Scrib Ranger. Just gonna let it resolve. Okay. Is Paper Legacy active in my city? Thankfully, it is. Every Wednesday. Shout out to Good Games Upper Mount Cravat. There's a pretty tight-knit community, which is nice. Usually play Legacy 3 times a week, and then the first Wednesday of each month is 7-Point Highlander, which is an Eternal format. A singleton Eternal format. A little bit like Canadian Highlander, where there's a point system instead of like a banned and restricted list. I guess there still is a banned and restricted list, but less so. Oh, okay. We get to Endurance here. Probably just pitching the other Fiend Artisan to make sure they don't get this Shadow Spear. This also grows the Fiend Artisan, which is nice. To a 5/5. Why is Maverick called Maverick? I believe it was named after the player Maverick with an @ sign as their name, who started off with it, Luis. But if you want to find out more about Mav, definitely check out the Green Sun Zenith. And more specifically, the history page. I could trade here. I actually don't mind that, seeing that we have the Thalia. I could also block with the Skyclave, give him a 3/3. I don't mind that. That also grows the Artisan. Yeah. And with this Grist online, we also just have a way to keep creating creatures. Khan? Teferi. Okay. Another saga. Yikes. We can start with Grist. Wasteland, potentially? Savannah. I think we just have to double spell. Tough one for sure. This is currently game 2. Which, even though it's coming down to time, does look pretty dire. Probably naming Grist with this needle. Alright, see how they attack. Attack, attack. And the 3/3. Okay. Happy just to block, block, block. Windswept. Okay. That is Dried Arbor, which is a blocker. Oh, it would be cool if I could like get back the Liberator in the same turn. They got game 1. 2, 3. I think the best bet is just to play Liberator and be able to pop it on 1, and then next turn get it back with Rallier. I guess they can just get oh, Shadow Spear is pretty good. Not the worst though. Let's just make sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dried Arbor is still here. Alright. Block 1. Block 2. Block 3. Oh! Take this back. Block 3. Block 4. Sack and hit this. Ooh, okay. Okay. Teacup Grist. Sadly, here we don't have a way to trigger the Rallier. Maybe I should have. Tough. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to tick down there. I guess I don't need to worry about the Shadow Spear because of the oof, but they might bounce with the Teferi. So I could actually attack with the insect here. No, because I want to get, yeah, and then get back Liberator. How do I do? Unfortunately, I think that last turn, like having 2 things go to the graveyard in Dried Arbor and Liberator just got me a little bit too much. Is there a way? Is there a way? Let's start. Let's go with this. Really, unless they just have force. Tough. Tough one. It was definitely nice to have like the creatures in the early game, but like a Source to Plowshares would have been really nice. Maybe another Force of Vigor. Seeds is nice, but I think that we have enough ways to deal with the artifacts. We just need to draw into them. And like the flexibility of some other cards like Force of Vigor are just really nice to have. I don't think there's a way that we can cantrip into seeds. We have the luxury of playing it, at least in my eyes. Sadly, this is pretty much a no-lander, so we will mulligan this. Okay. It's a pretty nice one. I'm going to keep this and put back the Liberator. Opponent kept 7. Yeah, I think if you have like maybe a metagame where you definitely expect 8 casts, then Seeds is pretty nice. But in leagues, I really like the flexibility of cards like Force of Vigor. That it's hard to play, say, Seeds over like the 3rd copy of Force. Swamp. Thoughtseize. You have 3 8-cast players? Okay, well, that makes sense then. Some Thoughtseize typically means a combo deck. Thalia is actually a really nice draw. Okay, well, I'm gonna say that they are gonna be combo. So, they took the prismatic ending, though, which is interesting. Let's go with some sort of combo. So we'll bring in the traps, bring the deafening silences. And the agent. Solitude out, Skyclave. I don't mind Engineer, but typically most decks just kill us before something like Empty the Warrens comes down. Could potentially be Mono Black Reanimator. Maybe the Surgicals are just worth it as a just in case. Oof, Liberator, Scrib Ranger, Rally I can see coming out, especially if this is a fast game. Same for Ramanap. Same for Grist, Prismatic. I don't mind going down on Swords, but if they are Reanimator, it's a little bit different. I don't mind just doing this and seeing what they're actually on. Well, this is going to be pretty nice either way. It's kind of a 6 with both of these, but we have turn 1 interaction in Silence and also Surgical, so pretty happy to see how this goes. Getting the turn to play the Silence is pretty huge as well. Huh. And I think I'm just going to get a Savannah here, because it turns on so many things like Green Suns. Although we don't have black for Opposition Agent, I think we can find that in good time. Okay. Interesting, seeing 1 deeper. I guess 2 deeper. Oh, they're Brainstorm locked? Okay. Well, now I definitely don't want a Surgical. Unfortunately, we will just play a land and pass here. Yeah, pretty big yikes for them. Alright. Hey Master G, a huge thank you for the resub. Too kind. Too kind. Hope you're well. Okay. Huh. Let's just go for Cradle, Fiend, and second Deafening Silence. Which doesn't do a whole lot. Against this sort of deck, I'm gonna assume they have Echoing Truth. Chain of Vapor. Okay. So they chain one. Then we have another. Okay. This is fine, because now they might try to go off under this trap, which would be pretty nice for us. Sure. 4 cards left. Sure. Sure. Ooh, opponent. Tough. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, the hand lined up really well against this sort of start, especially the 3 brainstorms. That's a pretty tough one to lose, but hey, we're on the board, which is sweet. Let's quickly do this giveaway. So, we have this to give away, and a big thank you to you, the viewers, who of course allow me to do what I do. And I believe I can take this and pick a winner. This has all the entries, and then we draw one. And the winner is Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee is another streamer, another Australian as well. Currently living, I believe, in Seattle. You should definitely check them out at youtube.com/Mr. Lee. I believe you can also find them on Twitch at Mr. Lee. But hey, a huge thank you to Lee for coming in, and yeah, very cool for Lee to get it. It's kind of nice to know that I know that he's a big fan of these sort of decks, so yeah, nice work. That's the giveaway. Very, very cool. Nice. Card is sweet. Card is shenanigans. And yeah, it allows you to do some pretty sweet things. Yeah, big congrats. Big fan of Mr. Lee. Also a big green mage. He won one of your giveaways too. Maybe there's something in there. Maybe he has some sort of ins with Twitter. I know he works for Amazon, so another big rep. But yeah, maybe the Fiend deck wants a second Cradle. Who knows? Would be interesting. I think there's definitely a lot of play to the targets we can have in the deck. Like in that match 1, like a Flickerwist would have been pretty nice to have. Got a few small things you can do. This is a pretty sweet hand. We have Graveyard Interaction, we have some pretty good cards against combo, 3 lands, and swords. Just need to find a green card for the Endurance if need be. Yeah, could definitely play like a field version. I mean, with Field of the Dead, you also get tokens for Fiend, which by then you're probably, you know, winning anyway, but you never know. Candelabra. Yikes. Right. Trinisphere. Key. Untap Grim. Get 4 mana. Khan, potentially? No. Right. I guess we play Verdant because it gives away the least amount of information. But this is looking pretty grim. Pretty grim, I say. Collector Oof is probably just the best draw, if we can get that. But this nets them 1 mana. This nets them 2 mana? 3, 2... Oh, another city. Okay. Oh, it's up to target X lands? Jeez. I kind of hope it's Ulamog. I don't really care about Ulamog. It is Ulamog! See, this is actually more than fine, because they target the fetch land and we get to swords it. And then we can draw into Collector Oof and just wrap this baby up. The Grim's also tapped now. Oh, they have to target 2? Exile 2 target permanents? Wow, so they actually had to exile their own Candelabra. Insane. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It is the Oof. It is the Oof. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? The magic gods. Never didn't have it. Never didn't have it. That is actually crazy. They chose Wasteland, okay. So they could have gone for the Windswept, but that actually makes a bit of sense. Green Suns, okay. I don't mind Green Suns here for Outland Liberator. I'm also not going to show black. There isn't really a need to, like they're going to sideboard the same, but pretty happy just to... That is... You just gotta shake your head at that. You just gotta shake your head. And to be fair, like, you know, one Dismember or some sort of removal spell on Oof here does switch things up. Wow, nothing, so the Trap Breaker actually just... Ugh. I'll go after the Spyglass, because the oof is keeping this down. Hey Mangork, welcome. Hope you're well. I think because they're stuck on 2 mana, the Thalia here is actually pretty good. It keeps something like Khan off the board if they draw a soul land. But I think at this stage we're in the driver's seat where that doesn't really matter. Okay. Michael Mapson pass? Oh, Michael Mapson concede. Okay. Alright. The forces are for sure. Engineer can come out. Spirits can come out. Mums can come out. I don't mind the swords. I don't mind the fiends. The range is kind of nice at just being able to get value off our mana dorks. The agent is relevant. There's also a thought of trap. I think trap is actually just a trap in itself. But on the draw, it's pretty scary if we don't have the Force of Vigors. Especially in a deck that also most likely plays Mystic Forge, I could see trap. Like, it's not great, but I think it's kind of better than, like, what the rest of the deck is doing. Why does Force of Vigor not have a set symbol? That's an interesting question. This is actually the, I believe, promo version online. Yeah, that's true. Like, Spirit is just a slow beater. Yeah, I could see something like this. And then the Spirits as just early aggression. But yeah, traps are a little bit loose. I do like the forces, and I don't mind this hand. But having the Wasteland is really nice. I don't believe they're going to be on Surgical. Oh, they are going to be on Cloudpost, okay. I think the matchup is just that good that we don't typically need it, which is really nice. Pretty happy just to Wasteland to play around like a crop rotation or some sort of effect like that. But taking on them off one post is just so good. So it obviously makes the other ones just that little bit worse. Key? Map. Okay. Alright. I kind of want to have access to black next turn, so let's go for Forest Noble, and then next turn we can just hold up Windswept with Agent if they go land pass, holding up map. I should also not 6 here. Tabernacle's pretty annoying. I kind of just want to hold up Agent next turn. So I don't really want to play anything here. I guess I could play Fiend Artisan, but I think next turn I just want to upkeep Flash in Agent and don't pay for the High Rock. I could try to draw into a land here, which will allow me just to agent in response to them mapping, because if I agent now and they map, it's a little bit worse. So I actually am going to take that riskier line of trying to be able to agent in response to map. Nice. Oh, no map? Okay. Maybe they're just going to try to keep it down for now. Rim. In response to this, I'm going to agent, because they don't currently have the mana for mapping, which is nice. Hey Pure, welcome. Hope you're well. Savannah. Yeah, it allows me to also play the Skyclave if needed. Two mana untap. Okay. Mindbreak Trap looking pretty funny here. I think if there is a game 3, we will probably just be bringing in the Grist and the Endurance. Golos is going to be fine. Hey Maverick Joe, welcome. Sarah Paragon looks really, really sweet. And that card would be very cool to see. I don't think I want a Solitude just yet, because if I find something like a Swords to Plowshares, I'd most likely just use that. And I will pay for both. Play Fiend. Attack for 4. But yeah, Sarah Paragon's really nice because you get to get something back straight away. It's pretty cool. Especially if it's like, you know, Ramanap, get back a land then, or like Renegade Rallier, get back another thing. Just a pass. Pitch Endurance, Play Endurance. Nice, nice, nice. That is very cool. Oh, it's on each turn? So you can get back endurance in your opponent's turn? I think Ola's Dust here would be pretty good. Ulamog as well, I guess. Another Golos. Okay. Oh, but they can't search. Wait, do... Oh, they choose not to search. Okay, that's why. I should have picked up on that. Apologies. Name Wasteland. Okay. Well, that's something. Zenith, for one, is a little bit tough because they obviously have the Tabernacle, but I kind of just want to get to a stage where we can make this Fiend Artisan quite big. The plan kind of here is to next turn probably lose both of these, pay for these, and then have 2 mana for the Oof. I could also just keep the Noble Hierarch, and then that way we have 1, 2, 3 to pay for these 3, and then 2 mana for the Oof. Then it grows the Fiend, which is nice. Then it gives us a little bit more protection around a sweeper, like Ola's Dust. Also, just the key with the Grim is so good. It's essentially 5 mana together. So Sarah is once during each of your turns. But it is sweet. You may play a land from your graveyard or cast a permanent spell with mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If you do, it gains when this permanent is put into... Especially with Fiend Artisan, I will say it's very cool with Fiend Artisan because you can, a little bit like Renegade Rallier, you can get into this and then just get back what you sacrificed. Which is pretty awesome. One thing I'm not too sure about, and hopefully someone in chat can say, is that it says, if you do get something back, it gains when this permanent is put into a graveyard from your battlefield, exile it and you gain 2 life. Can you respond to this if? So if you do, it gains. Because I assume your opponent can't sort of exile it in response to this happening so you don't gain 2 life. Like, say you have it in play and you get back Dryad Arbor. It is a trigger, so you can then respond to dealing with it if you don't want them to gain 2 life. So I'm not sure if it comes in when it is a trigger. Okay, cool. I guess because it can be missed, so that, yeah. Maybe not, because it says you gain 2 life, so maybe it can't be missed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana with Eye. They didn't pay for the goal loss, which is interesting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6. Interesting. They kind of have 7 mana here. Alright, tap, tap, tap. We do not want to pay for the Dryad Arbor. And we want to pay for these 3. Oh, they're going to try to do something here? Maybe dismember? Oh, untap that. Okay, that's fine. Play Oof. Attack with these two. Puts them to 9, and then we have lethal next turn if we drop the Noble Hierarch and allow it to die. Thought-Knot's fine. They take the Skyclave here. I could lose the Noble here, but the Exalted means it's going to be attacking for 4 anyway. I kind of just want to keep everything and see what we draw into. I don't mind trading with the Artisan here. Like, finding a green card here would be pretty cool. Not cool. Two, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they currently have 7 Eldrazi mana and currently 1, 2, 3 other mana. Keep them all. I'll keep that for the Force just in case. Tough spot for them. Yeah. Alright. Pretty nice to take that one out. Especially that that game 1 was pretty funny. Yeah, Sarah seems sweet, especially in a value deck. Being able to get something back every turn is pretty awesome. Especially it's just another way to gain some amount of value around draw effects, and so not run into something like Narset or Hull Breacher. Obviously, like card advantage, a little bit like Bob, which is cool. It's like moving away from maybe something like a Sylvan Library build and then playing Sarah. Also just being a 3/4 body, I think it is. Yeah, 3/4 flyer, which is pretty nice. And yeah, so being when this permanent is put into a graveyard means that it does get stopped by exile effects. This is a slow hand, but it's got double bird with a 1 land, so I'm pretty happy to keep this. What was the lost matchup? It was 8 cast. Unfortunately, this went a bit wide and a bit big pretty quickly. Once Upon a Time most likely means this Collect Oof isn't going to be great unless it's Naya Depths with Mox Diamond. But obviously Source to Plowshare is really nice, and Green Sun's potentially really good. Oof, okay. Ah, it's going to be Goblins. Okay. This will be a really interesting matchup. On the play, we're pretty lucky, I will say that. But oh, okay, well now the Collector Oof is quite nice. Okay. I think it's just Bird here to turn on white mana. But obviously a pretty greedy keep, being just 1 mana, because we really have to go like land to get there. I wonder if this means it's going to be like a food chain version of the deck, potentially. But they're not casting their 2 mana Lord, they're holding up 2 mana here. Snoop. Oof. It's probably the Snoop that I care about the most here. And then Green Suns for Dried Arbor. So they have 2 cards left, and one is the Lord. But they are getting Ringleader next turn no matter what. Yeah, I think I'd rather just Swords the Snoop here. Another Horde Master? I guess we're just gonna go with Scrib Ranger into Oof. Could also get Fiend Artisan and try to get Plague Engineer going, but I think Scrib Ranger is a little bit better, because it allows us to double spell this turn. And also take them off a mana. I'd also save the Dried Arbor if needed. But Double Lord here is just so good as well. Also pretty sweet that Scrib Ranger turns on Rallia. No great blocks here. Okay. They definitely get to name something here because of the Runeveil. Natural Order. Okay. Interesting. Makes my opponent... I guess Maverick hasn't been like giving the rounds too much lately, so... It is kind of a name of a card that could just be a little bit too strong. They're not going to flashback Cabal, though. Interesting. Knight. Okay. What's the play? We have access to 2, 4, 5 mana. We could Green Suns for Questing Beast. That's actually pretty sweet. Could also go for... Actually, we don't run Scavenging Ooze. Quick think, quick think. One, two, three, four, five. Grist is actually pretty nice here. I don't mind Grist. 1, 2, 3. Untap, return. Plague Engineer is main deck, which I can get over 2 turns, but the Lord makes it a little bit irrelevant. I'm just going to go for Beast. I think Beast is pretty sweet. I believe they have another Lord in hand, though. I could have also attacked with this Collector Oof for sure. But maybe they don't. Maybe I've just seen the same one twice. But I feel like they revealed one to the Once Upon a Time and then one to the Ringleader. Yeah. I think I'm okay losing the Dried Arbor here. Because I can get it back with the Rallier. Okay. So let's go attack with Questing Beast. I could also attack with the Script Ranger, let's be honest. Hopefully that damage doesn't come back to bite me. Then we go Forest. 1, 2. Untap this, return this. Play this. No, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Renegade Rallier. Trigger, get back Dried Arbor. Nice. Okay. They have 1 card and 5 mana. I think I'm just going to do the same thing. We still have access to 1, 2, 3 mana, which is Mum and also Outland Liberator potentially. Okay. It's pretty good. Probably munitions. Mum also needs to, like, live for 2 turns, which is pretty tough. Go for Snoop. Okay. Wasteland doesn't really do a whole lot here. I think it's just Mum. I think Mum is better than Knight as a 3/3, but it's close. Okay, just another Snoop and then Mountain on top. Oof. I think they've been ahead this whole game, let's be honest. It's definitely been an uphill battle. So even if we block favorably, like here, it's lethal. So I think I have to untap either Scrib or Bird. I think it's Scrib, but then we're down to just these. They still have a Horde. So we could block here. We can block here because this loses one. We can also block here. And then here. Just see how this goes. But like now they could probably like Matron for a Skirk and then like play Skirk and then kind of go off from there. That would be pretty tough. But there's a lot of cards here that they can win with. Oh. They play Cradle? That's cool. I kind of just want to see what else they have left in the deck. Kiki's pretty sweet. Yeah. Are they trying to find... Do they make a few and then go for Sling Gang? I assume with the last one you copy Hogak. You copy this to then put a Sling Gang on top, and then you can just sacrifice some stuff to Sling Gang. Yeah. Okay. Alright. What do we like? Agent, Plague, and then I don't mind the Force of Vigors. I think they're probably going to be better than something else. Like, I think we can easily take out 2 spirits. Hey, Joe. Okay, cool. That sounds cool. If you have a list with Sarah, I'll definitely be keen to run that. That'd be true. It'd be pretty cool. I don't think surgical is where I want to be, unfortunately. I don't mind taking out the Thalias. I think this is pretty strong. Yeah, okay. Pretty happy just to go get Savannah. Could also get Bayou. Yeah, Savannah into Green Suns. Aegis. I guess I could have played the Wasteland there, but I think I just want to hold up Agent. I will just fetch now as well for the Plains. Magus is interesting. Well, hopefully they play the fetch land. No, they can't, of course. This is just creatures. No land. That's pretty huge. Oof. I'm pretty happy here to go after the Taiga because of Ignobled Hierarch. So they now have Bloodstained Mire, but of course they can't fetch. So I think the Cradle will just... Well, they're going to Fury right now. Okay, it's not too bad. Oh, that's pretty cool. Ooh, that is pretty nice. A little bit worse seeing that they have the Ignoble Hierarch now, but not too bad. Solitude here would have been a really nice blowout if I had another white card. Knight, pretty good. I'm pretty happy to see why I wouldn't block this. I guess they get to exile a card here potentially. Once. Oof. Oof, oof. I think this is better than anything else because he gets rid of both of these. Goblin. I think attacking here is pretty strong. I could hit their land, but let's have a good think about it first. Yeah, I don't mind taking them off mana here. Yeah. Really nice. I mean, we didn't see too much action that game, but we did see good action. Like, when we drew a spell, it was very relevant, but really want to try to hit those, like, early swords, especially on, in the early turns here. There's not much else we can change here. I'm pretty happy just to send this back. And just hope for like a... Yeah, it's another one-lander, but we're on the draw and we have 2 ways to build out. We also have interaction, so I'm pretty happy to keep this. Alright. I am just going to get a Savannah here. And play Hierarch. Hey Duke of Wall, played D&T for the first time last week to a 3-1 finish. Very nice. Tomorrow morning, I actually have XJ Cloud on the stream for a co-stream with D&T. And then the following week, I have Jason, aka Luanil, for another D&T stream. So definitely be ready for that. I don't want to see munitions expert here. Okay. Snoop is fine. Arrakis. Alright. I do want to get rid of this. Artisan's pretty nice. I also don't mind Liberator, as just like, if they destroy it, it doesn't really matter, and if it flips, it's obviously very good. But Fiend being able to find Plague is really nice, so maybe it is just Fiend. Especially knowing they have Matron. Yeah, Fury's pretty good here. Don't do it, don't do it. Okay, that's not too bad. I think here we're just going to go Bird and then Wasteland the Badlands. Just because of Magus and a few other things. But it's obviously nice to try to, like, keep the Wasteland for the Renegade Rallier. Hey Saito Sand, welcome. Hope you're doing well. I get a Snoop. Okay. Come on, fetch land. Oof. Oh, 1, 2... Hey Soft Nun, welcome. Oh my gosh. Wow. I believe they can just go off here where they can just keep copying and then copy Matron to put Snoop on top. But they're gonna do nothing and let us hold up the agent? Oh, they're gonna try to just make a bunch of dudes in their end step. But so Kiki Jiki, copy, and then copy Matron. Matron puts the search creature on top. Oh no, because you have to go off. I think we're just dead. Like, I don't think there's anything we can do with our mana. Is this... No, it doesn't gain legendary status. Tough. Yeah, because end step they can just make a bunch of copies and just swing in for lethal. Ah, Matron puts it into hand. I guess we just hold up the agent. There's nothing else we can really do. Yeah. Tough. I definitely cut on prismatic endings, so potentially there is a weakness there for tribal decks, especially when I'm relying heavily on Plague Engineer, and they're running 4 full Lords, so I think Goblin's definitely got a bit tougher. Because it means you kind of got to keep your removal for the Lords to turn on the Plague Engineers, but then you also have like just things like Goblin Lackey that you want to get rid of before you can get Plague Engineer down. Hey Canister, a huge thank you for the raid. Hope you're doing well. What did you just stream, and how did you go? And a huge welcome to all those coming in from Canister's stream. I'm Diggs on Twitch. I stream Legacy Maverick. We are currently going for a 3-2 in this league with a pretty new take on Maverick with Fiend Artisan, which has been seeing play in Legacy Elves. Pretty happy to keep this hand because the mana's quite nice. We have Spirit for combo decks. The Rally is quite good at getting some tempo going. Okay. The nice thing about turn 1 Mum here as well is that we don't have access to Swords to Plowshares. Well, we do now. The only issue is here is if we Windswept Heath for Savannah, which allows us to cast both Bird and Sword, it is open to Wasteland. And then we're just pretty dead, but I kind of feel like we need to go for Swords here. I guess we don't need to, because a Fiend Artisan can go and find Plague Engineer, which deals with this, but it's a case of if they go Stoneforge Mystic next turn for Kaldra, then it's going to be pretty tough. So I think it is just going to be Savannah Swords, unfortunately. They might even put us on Green-White Depths and therefore not Wasteland if they want to have something for the Depths combo. They also might just be wanting to play a 2-drop here. Oh, Saga. Okay. Well, this could be Hammer. No. Okay, Mum's pretty good, but allows, at least here we get to go Wasteland and Bird. But a 60 card version, okay. Another Saga. Spirit's gonna be okay. Don't really care about that. I like Wasteland and then hold up Scrib Ranger. Yeah. Hammer, yeah. I haven't seen a lot of the versions that I played with main deck Mum, and usually Spirit's in the board, if anything. I think this could just be a 60 card version of D&T that is playing a Saga package. Alright, so let's go Scrib. Tap. Okay. Okay. 1, 2. Untap this, return this. Play Savannah, which triggers Rallia. Get back a Wasteland. I think Wasteland is better here. I could also get Fiend Artisan online. Maybe that's better than Mum here. I actually don't mind that. Because then we can potentially go for Plague Engineer next turn. More plates, more dates. I have no idea who that is, but thank you, potentially. More plates, more dates. Nice. That dude's jacked. Alright. Feeling pretty good about where we are right now. I'll have to check out his YouTube. Oh, he's got a podcast as well? Nice. Oh, no land. Huge. I'm pretty happy just taking the 3 here. I could try to force the Mum to tap, but I don't really need that at the moment. One, 2, 3. Skyclave's pretty good. Okay, that's fair. Hey Psychonaut, thanks for the follow. Hope you're well. Alright, what do we got? Land. 2, 4. Hey Chewy, very cool to hear. Maverick's in a bit of a spot because of the popularity of Green-White Depths and the competitiveness of it. The Discord is really good. I would check out the Discord, and then each of those little sections in Discord have like Abzan or Banned or Punishing. I would say Punishing is probably at the best spot because of Pyroblast. Mark Strassman, Strass Daddy, does stream it a fair bit, which is cool. I could try to get like Wasteland online with Ramanat, but I kinda don't want to. I think I actually might just go Mum. And then Green Suns for another Fiend Artisan. Hey Chewy. Thanks for the follow. Too kind. Monkey Maverick. Is that with the Saito Sand special? I will fetch as well. Just get a scrub. And go for broke. Ragavan is banned in Legacy. Thankfully. Alright, 2 cards left for my opponent. Let us hope they don't have Flicker Wisp. Port's not too bad. Don't mind seeing that. Okay. I don't mind tapping Mum here. So I am just going to block with the Renegade Rallier on the Skyclave. I think Rallier's kind of done its job. This is fine. Oh, they have the Wisp. Yikes. I assume here just flicker Skyclave and then take out the Mum in end step. Oh, they flicker the Port. I didn't expect that. That's a very interesting play. Because now the Mum's online. Especially with Bird and Scrib, we have access to a lot of mana, so... the Apparition does have Pro. I think what they should have done, potentially, is because we were tapped out, they didn't have to worry about Swords to Plowshares. They should have given Pro green to kill the Renegade Rallier, and then they would have been able to flicker it. But yeah, that's a pretty huge mistake, because that does give us a lot of time here. Four mana. 5 mana. Just trying to think if there's a way to... Do we have Dried Arbor? Can I get Dried Arbor? 1, 2... No. I was trying to think of a way to get another creature into play to search, but we don't have that luxury. I am just going to get rid of the birds, go and get Plague, and name Human. Take out the Mum. And now we have a really nice board. The Blitz content, the Blitz card is pretty cool. I actually think I might try that as a one-of in the sideboard. Potentially over the second Plague Engineer. Nightclubber, yeah. I remember seeing a few Humans players play around with it. I believe Reaper Cheap played it in Black-White Humans, and it was pretty sweet. It is double black, that's very true, so the pip can be a little bit hard to get on board. Recruiter's a nice draw. It will die to the Plague, which is nice. So we'll see what they fetch up. Could be Stoneforge Mystic, potentially. That's just another way to kind of get through. Like, Mum can't really beat Kaldra by itself, so they do go for Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. That is Dried Arbor. How do I want to do this? I probably want to try to get Grist into play. So I think this turn I like fetch land for Dried Arbor and then just play out Spirit. Then I probably don't want to attack here. I could attack with the Plague, to be fair. Yeah, that's a pretty easy attack. Because we do have the script to untap the Mum. Yes, I do have a link to the script. You should be able to find it on the home page here, down the bottom. If I quickly have a look. I can find it for you. Legacy Mav. Invite. Copy. There you go. Alright, so 2 unknowns, 1 Stoneforge Mystic. Which thankfully Grist taking out Stoneforge should do a fair amount of keeping anything off the field. Because we don't really care about Jide having the Mum, and also Scrib. I think it's Kaldra. I think Kaldra's the best way to win. Obviously, they don't know that we have Grist as a way to get rid of it. They go for Jide. Interesting, I didn't expect that. My question here for them is, how are they going to get through? Unless one of their last cards in hand is Kaldra. That makes a lot more sense. If their plan is to put in Kaldra, then equip the Jide, which gets through Mum. Wasteland's a nice draw. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Sack Dried Arbor. Go and get Grist. I'll attack with the Spirit first. See if they do anything. But I do want to try to get 3 damage in here and then sack the Spirit to Grist to take out the Stoneforge Mystic to keep the chances of Kaldra being off the board. Then I'm pretty happy to take out the port here. The Krakus at the moment doesn't really matter. Okay. What's their plan? Yeah, okay. Now we're full steam ahead. Create a token. Play a land. Sack the token. I'm just going to go get a Outland Liberator here. Just in case something wacky happens, but pretty happy with this current board of just passing back. I believe this Outland Liberator flips, yeah, straight away, because we actually didn't cast anything on our turn. Which is pretty nice, because now this attacking triggers, which means we can take out the Jade before they even get a chance to block, which makes blocks pretty suboptimal in any regard. This is fine. I don't mind just floating first. No reason not to. But yeah, real tough spot for my opponent. Script Ranger and Mum, just really, really strong. Wow, they are going to attack as well. Not too sure what the line is here, because we get to block with Script Ranger. They're going to flash something in. Ooh, deal damage to it. This is fine, because now this will die before damage. This doesn't have trample, so they won't connect. Another Mum's pretty good. I like attacking here and taking out the Spirit, because then they can't block that well, and we can always keep up mana for the Jade. Play the Mum, tick up, and then potentially just get Bird's Paradise as a flyer, which at this stage isn't really needed, but I think that's a pretty nice use of our... Ooh, unless we don't have one left. Because we did go through one. I think we only play one, unless we play two. There's one bird. Okay, cool. Also keeping the forest up because it's the land that they can't interact with the most. There's a world where they could like wasteland us off the bayou, then go to attacks, making us have to use this, but So it's kind of just like a hard lock, which is really nice. Hmm. Now the Artisan is just going to be lethal. Renegade Rally is there. Yeah, because we can go sack this, hit this. To be fair, I could have like attacked and just done it, but this is all good. This is now 9. We can then float a mana. Sacrifice this. Take out this. Artisan is now 10. I will play the knight. Give Artisan Pro white. And swing. Really nice just to like control the board there. And Artisan showed how good it was, especially with Grist. Like, it's kind of win more, but in the grindy games it can definitely come up where that's just a really, really insane piece of synergy. It's just gonna be these that I take out. I like the Plague, the Agent, the Tower, and 1 Force. I could see the second Endurance coming out for the other Force, but I don't really want the Forces in multiples. Like, we have Ending, we have Skyclave, we have Collector Oof and Liberator. We have a lot of answers, so I don't mind the Endurance just being a really nice way to line up against flyers like Flickwisp as a 3/4 body. Not a big fan of this, just because of it being a 1-lander. This is a matchup where I really want to hit my land drops. But not this much. But it's definitely interesting. I think just because it doesn't have early removal, it's going to be a mulligan. The mana here is also pretty tough. I think there is a 4 that's better, but maybe the 6 was a keep. I just kind of expected like maybe 2 lands, Noble Hierarch, Green Suns. Okay. So we're keeping 4. It's going to be... I think I can't be too greedy, and it's just going to be this. This means I can just cast anything I draw into, potentially. Okay. I also can't really play around. I don't have the luxury of playing around Wasteland with this hand, so I'm just going to go for Jewels and kind of overload the board with mana to make it look like there isn't really a great way to deal. But in Questing Beast is a clock, and it kind of rewards us for drawing into another removal spell. Oh, they kept a 1-lander with the Vial? Okay. Oof. Cradle. Well, we get an attack in here. Then we do have Swords for Mum. And then Beast is 5 damage a turn. I didn't want to play the Cradle there, because then it makes my opponent probably more likely to get rid of the Noble. Shadow Spear? Sure. Still a 1-lander. Green Suns. Oof. I mean, we could just Green Suns for Oof here. I actually don't mind that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to Green Suns for 4, so it looks like I'm getting something like Night of Autumn. They might not think straight away that I'm getting Oof, and now we get to play the Oof before they actually even respond with Vial. So that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. That's a little kind of how you going. Yeah. Hey Master, welcome. Okay, there's a second land. Stoneforge is pretty nice. get shit. That's gonna be okay. That means they have Kuldra in hand. Fiend. Okay, Fiend is free. Because we get to go Fiend. And then Questing Beast. Attack for 6. Hey Courier, thanks for the follow. Hope you're well. Definitely rewarded for keeping a hand where we could just cast what we draw into as well, which is nice. Tapping out every turn, getting things into play. Wow, nothing. Just holding up Stoneforge. Can we draw a small creature here? Yes, we can. Okay. What do we want to get? Because I think here we want to get Dryad Arbor, and then sack it to Artisan. I think it might just be Knight of the Reliquary, because Knight can find Tower. I can't beat... They kept it open, which makes me think they have like a Batterskull potentially. If they have Kuldra, I think they just put in Kuldra and swing. Skycave could be interesting soon as well, that's very true. It could also just be get Mum this turn. Grist could be interesting. Definitely a few options. The question here is, do I want to attack first? I think I'm okay attacking, because I don't think they have Kuldra. I reckon they have Batterskull. And obviously, Beast attacking for 5 just beats out Batterskull. You are more than welcome. I think it is Mum. It's tough though, because what's worst case? Worst case is they put in Jide, they then have swords for Oof off a land, and then equip Jide and swing. But then do we really care? Like with these two big creatures, I don't think we really care. So I think we just want to. Honestly, if they didn't put in Batterskull, I think we might just go for Solitude. That just makes sense. Grist is sweet as well. I think I just want to get Solitude because it gets the Stoneforge off the table. It's just a weird play. Because even if they have Batterskull here... No, they just have Jide. Huh. Well, now they have no creatures, and 3 permanents that are turned off by Collect Oof. And we also have lethal next turn. Because we can turn the Noble Hierarch into a... Oh, so close. We could turn the Noble Hierarch into a Skyclave to take out any sort of blocker. And then swing for 2, 6, 9. But hey, a huge thank you to those who stayed from Canisters and Mingucci's stream. If you guys like this content, definitely consider subscribing. You can also find me on YouTube and Twitter. And of course, at thegreensonzenith.com. Two-mana pass. I think in this case, they might have something like Swords on Oof, and then put something in with Vial. So I'm pretty happy here just to Green Suns for Outland Liberator, so that they can't put something into play off the Vial in response to dealing with the Collector Oof. Nice. Cool deck stayed. Nice, nice. I respect that. Removal and Whist is their best line, yeah. So having Liberator to respond to removal on the Oof is pretty nice. Yeah, because now we get to take out the Vial, which still makes it lethal because the Liberator also makes this a 3/3. I think that might be game. Nice. That's pretty cool. So we managed to pull it back, which is nice. And it grows the Artisan for lethal, exactly. Alright, the deck. The deck was pretty cool. I think if anything, I'd perhaps like to turn Prismatic Ending into a creature. Like, I was trying out one Flicker Wisp in the deck, and I really liked it because you could deal with tokens, like Marit Lage or Constructs, and you could reset things like Plague Engineer, Skyclave, or Solitude. Also, just having like an actual flyer with damage was cool. The tower, I think, could come out. I think I'd rather just have more removal because that game 1 loss to the Constructs was just not really having more removal. So I could even see like the tower coming out, the ending going to the board, and then Wisp coming in. Just like small tweaks to see how it comes together. Like, I don't mind this. That's pretty cool. Extra Grist is interesting. The only thing is that, like, against control decks, it's kind of tough to have both. Like another Planeswalker would be pretty cool. One we've tried out in the past is Kaya, the 4-mana one, which is pretty sweet because straight away her -2 means your opponent is down a card and you get to draw a card. And then if they try to remove her, you're still up a card, which is nice. Also, the 0 ability gets rid of constructs, and it can give you some flicker type effects with things like Skyclave or Plague Engineer or Solitude. Or even like Renegade Rallier. Like, Flicker Wisp with Renegade Rallier is pretty sweet. But yeah, I think like finding a little bit more hate for some of the tribal decks, because Plague Engineer just doesn't really cut it as much as you'd like these days. Would be interesting to see, but until then, that's me. I'll be back in less than 12 hours with John Hamilton, aka XJ Cloud, playing a co-stream with Legacy D&T, which should be really fun. And then the following week will be a co-stream with Jason, aka Luanil, for probably a red-white D&T stream. So if you're wanting to watch that, definitely consider subscribing. I'm going to see who else is playing and send you guys over there, but a huge thank you for coming in and watching, and a huge thank you to you for coming in and staying as well. Really, really cool. It looks like Ramar is playing some Legacy, which is nice, and Ramar is playing some Green-White Depths, which is pretty sweet, so I think you guys will really enjoy that. Thank you again, stay safe, enjoy your weekends, and I'll catch you, hopefully, tomorrow. Cheers.